All right, we are back with another installment for conversion rate optimization tips, giving you more insight as far as things you should look out for when making a landing page for pretty much in whatever niche you decide to enter, right? So, for today, this is one that kind of caught my eye just in terms of like things that we could tweak on this page to really help it get the most bang for its buck. And so, what I want to do, like the last one, is, kind of dive in and see how, a page like this, where, some things are coming up short in terms of, like content and conversions and stuff. And then, more importantly, things that they can do to get more out of it. Right. So, yeah, let's go ahead and dive in. So, first off, looking above the fold here, I like that at least, kind of like the overall messaging is above the fold, right? Typically for stuff like this, you don't want it to drag down too much further below because, again, for most people, they're usually viewing their content on mobile, right? If it's being advertised on like Facebook and Instagram and stuff. And so what you want to do is make sure that people can get the main messaging pretty early on. And so that kind of segues us into the first piece that we want to analyze, right, which is the messaging. And so when we look at the messaging, the number one question we should be asking is, again, can we get the big picture in a very summarized fashion right from the initial impression, right? So say, for example, someone hits this page, boom, is this enough to give them the complete context of what they need to know on this page? Well, looking at it right off the bat, you're probably where I am. The answer is no, right? The reason it's no is because of a few things, right? One, to the left, what does this mean? Right? Like WD-40 for your spine, but then there's just this can here, right? But we don't know what this actually is. And then over here, are your patients getting the big idea? Right? That is extremely vague headline because we don't know what niche or industry this is for. And then our bullets, stickies help keep patients excited about their care with a new teaching point every week. Put more life and influence into your daily table talk. Give your CAs more confidence to handle any patient question, concern, or challenge. So, um, yeah, this isn't enough to tell me what's going on here. And this tells me that there's no clear call out for this specific demographic. Let's scroll down real quick and just see if we can find out real quickly. Chiropractic care. Okay, so I'm presuming this is for chiropractors and people who own practices, right? However, I'm not completely sure on the purpose of stickies and what it's designed to do. Um, because if it's just saying like excited, keep patients excited about their care with a new teacher point every week, that doesn't quite give me enough. Put more life and influence to your daily table talk. Yeah, so the payoffs here aren't clear either, and then the get stickies for your practice, right? Um, I don't know. I still don't know what this is, and so really this isn't serving much for this above the fold right now. So as far as a sticky, looks like they're saying is some sort of principal tool to educate patients and sharpen staff communication skills. It teaches the value of chiropractic care after the pain goes away, and it's based on the book Made to Stick. Okay, I've heard of that book. To convey the lifetime value of lifetime chiropractic in an unforgettable way. A sticky that motivates your patients to stay and refer. So it looks like this is sort of set up to be some kind of like long-term retention play, even after the care is done. And it looks like I'm guessing there's supposed to be some kind of like little electronic notes that come out. Here are some testimonials here. Stick with the messaging for now. How do they work? They'll be notified by email when a new sticky is published. You can feature them and share them with your community. Okay. Why do they work? Stickies incorporate 6 essential success elements from Chip and Dan Heath's best-selling book Made to Stick. In other words, make it sticky. Uh, in terms of messaging, this isn't explaining at all why it works, right? Like I'm understanding the principle behind it of what they're trying to do, but it's not explaining why exactly it keeps people coming back. It's not taking me through any psychology, right, behind why they're so successful. And Yeah, so this isn't enough to like really explain to me the context. And again, when you're trying to ask people for money, this is the kind of stuff that you have to be super clear on and explain very well. Premium subscriber bonuses. Not sure why we've gotten to this part just yet. So again, this isn't really going to stick much if we're not doing a good job explaining it here. So in my mind, when we talk about this kind of stuff, this is where you'd want to break it down, right? Like the problem that exists when it comes to retention, why it's so important, the financial, breakdown of a practice that has a certain amount of churn versus what would happen if you keep a certain level of retention, right? How often it's needed to touch base with someone to get them back into the office, right? All these little things that you need to build a chain of belief and get these chiropractors to understand why this sort of system is so important. It's extremely vital because if people don't understand how the process works, they're not going to open their wallet, right? Because typically for bonuses like this, you'd want to save this later after you've, locked them in terms of getting into the product. Um, Join the list of chiropractors worldwide. So this is kind of a neat little proof element. I don't know, if it's all true or not, but it looks like a lot of offices are using the sticky thing, right? So if it is true, then that's very solid. Uh, some proof elements here, more proof elements here, and then more messaging down here. Put your patient education on Automa TIC. I mean, maybe that's just chiropractic speak, but um, if you're struggling with low retention and inconsistent education, sign up today and let weekly stickies raise your chiropractor influence to a new level, right? So, like this right here would be something that I would lead in with and dive into the problem very early on so people can understand, like, hey, okay, I'm having the problem of retention. My clients aren't coming back to see me. Um, you know, how are stickies going to help address this problem, right? Because right now it's just selling but not providing really any context. Um, so as far as like placements, right, when it comes to like where to place things and videos and stuff, I think here again is a golden time for a video. This really isn't serving anything. The WD-40 can is the visual they're using, right? Like WD-40 for your spine. But um, again, if people don't even know about stickies, I think this is again a golden time to have a little explanation video here or something and let people, basically convey it in a couple of minutes that, hey, okay, this is the problem in the chiropractic marketplace. This is how, stickies address this problem, right, in X, Y, and Z fashion. So you can experience X, Y, and Z result, right? And then, basically go into your CTA because then now that brings power and context to this, right? And then instead of this, right, you can have something that just highlights the problem, right, and like the benefit a little bit more, right, and it's just a little more clear on that, right, like um you know discover a stupid simple or super simple way to increase your client retention by 5x in the next 30 days or less, you know using quote unquote stickies, right, something with some sort of intrigue behind it. A call out bar would also probably go a long way here. Something like attention chiropractors, right? Who want to experience X, Y, and Z result up here somewhere, nice and bold, so people can know immediately if this is for them or not, right? And it pretty much filters out your traffic right away. So I think that would be super solid here as well. Um, Number three, our next thing, proof. So when it comes to proof, again, a lot of proof is good, but proof with results is always better. And when it comes to proof with results, I see that we have a lot of testimonials here from I take it this is chiropractors here. The problem is that as you kind of go through these testimonials, what you'll notice is that they none of them mention like any like specific increases in client return rates, right? Any increases in like bottom line results. And so it's not really explaining why um, you would need the stickies from a financial standpoint. Like no one's talking about ROI. they're just pretty much raving about the stickies, which is cool. And to be honest, could be enough to work on its own. But again, if we're talking about increasing conversion rates, something very simple and powerful you can do is just provide testimonials from people who more so have seen a direct benefit from incorporating the stickies, right? A financial, like, direct benefit. Like, hey, I've made this X amount of money over what I've made previous month, right? Because I've used these stickies. And even with like video testimonials that explain things like that, those will go a much longer way, in my opinion, because um, they're way more tangible and much easier for people to see, right? Because ultimately, people are getting things like this because they want to make more money, right? They want to increase their retention so they can make more money. Well, you know, if stickies help do that, then any testimonials that bring context into how that path works financially will be extremely, extremely powerful. And so I think there's a golden opportunity to have something like that for this. Okay, cool. And then let's see what's next is our offer. So it looks like they're offering this sticky thing. And now let's go look at pricing. Okay, so there's a couple of things here. One being that we're not collecting any name or email anywhere, which isn't the end of the world. But now they have no way to follow up with people long term, like building a solid email list. So I am kind of surprised there's no like capture page, especially if people are adopting it like this, and that would mean that there's definitely a lot of interest. And then also for this particular offer itself, I see they have the free, the basic here, and then the premium, right? Which, first off, kudos, because this is typically kind of what you want to do is highlight the highest value offer in the middle and make the others seem not as valuable, right? However, with that being said, I see here that in the free, you get to share to Facebook and Twitter, and then the 52 issues you also get in the basic, and then everything else you get here, right? So this actually isn't the worst thing I've seen, because at least like there's some noticeable difference in value here, right? However, with that being said, though, I think this page could still use a little bit of copy. And to be honest, if we're not even going to collect any if we're not going to collect any names or emails, you could almost even have this on the main page, because at this point, it probably isn't worth having another page and just making this one the checkout page instead. So because at this stage, I don't think this is needed, especially if we're not capturing any other information, right? As far as like names or emails to build out a um, list over time. So, and then let's see here, put your patient education on automatic. Guess they're trying to be, guess that's like a witty chiropractic speak here as well. But again, I also think that this headline could be more benefit driven, again, about the um, incentives that you'll experience from picking up the stickies, right? Like, grow your practice by 5x with stickies are just something that just reminds people like, hey, this is why you're buying this product, right? And then also probably another thing that would be powerful here that I don't see covered anywhere is I don't see any guarantees also. I see that it's good for a year, but I also don't see any guarantees or like return policies. So basically, when people get this stuff, I don't see anything that highlights like, hey, if they're not happy with it, if it's not getting them the results they want, then we'll allow you to refund your money back in the X period. That's extremely valuable and something you must have in your products or services, or if not, at least still be clear about it, because that is a huge risk reversal. And so when you're doing things like this or really selling anything, you want to give people the option to like know like, hey, if you don't like what you have, then we will return your money. And then get this deal. If I click that, all right. And so we're not sure if this page is still running or still not, but If it's not, then I take it that's probably because it's not selling well. So all right, guys, that is pretty much it. I hope you've got some great insight from this, especially if you're doing anything in kind of like the chiropractic space in terms of landing pages or creating any other assets like this. So, thank you guys for attending and looking forward to making my next video. You guys take care.